Tree Troopers!
So, Dakota and I, we're actually still in Aruba, but we visited Aruba for our 15-year wedding anniversary. We made it, y'all. We still got a long way to go, but
we are a work in progress.
We are a work in progress, and we made it to 15, which is awesome. But we took some video while we're here, and throughout we'll have some little snippets, but we just wanted to tell you guys about our experience and give you a few things to think about, on your trip.
So if you're planning to do a trip out to Aruba, there are about 5 things that we think would be really good to consider in your trip planning process. Mm-hmm. The first one would be transportation. When we first landed, we got out and we were taking a taxi. Most of the taxis cost about $20 or so to get to the area that we're staying in, which is called Oranjestad.
Yeah, that's the capital.
Right. So depending on what part of the island you're going to, you need to make sure that you bring cash.
Cash. The taxis do not accept cars. Uber, Lyft does not exist here. But that's okay. It's a small island and you can still get around.
Right.
Outside of taxis, of course you can walk.
Buses.
And
we didn't see that they had any scooters or any of that kind of thing going on. So you need to make sure that you plan accordingly for how you're going to get around. Mm-hmm. But taxis are readily available everywhere. The prices aren't really negotiable, and at least one of the taxis that we were in, he pulled out a chart that had like all of the pricing for where they were going. So I wouldn't necessarily say you will be subject to any kind of gouging, but that's something that you should consider.
Yeah. And next is the accommodations where we stayed. We stayed at the Renaissance Aruba, which is a nice hotel. It has 2 sides. The marina side, which is adults only, which is great, for people like us. But for you guys to have families, there's the suite side, which is just right across the street, that's more family friendly.
Right. So whatever hotel chain that you might be tied to or that you might be interested, is probably here on the island. And there are about 2 major areas where people stay. We're in the downtown district, and there's another area called the high-rise district. Mm-hmm. And that's a place where you can stay. Further east of the island, there's near the, what's the name of the beach?
Baby Beach and Rogers Beach.
Right. That's more residential where the locals stay. But I'm sure there are a lot of Airbnbs down there.
Exactly. Specifically this hotel, there isn't a beach on the property, like directly on the property.
That was tough.
Yeah, because you can't just walk out the door and be on the beach. But the Renaissance, they have their private island, which is beautiful. It has flamingos and iguana, all sorts of lizards. It's really nice.
And you have to get out there via ferry or little boats that come by every 15 minutes.
Yeah, every 15 minutes.
There's no extra cost if you are part of the hotel.
Yeah, if you're staying at the hotel.
If you want to go out on your own, if you're at a different hotel, then I think it's like $100?
It's $100 a person. And a lot of people want to go out onto the private island because it's the only place on the island that have flamingos. And the flamingos are beautiful.
So that's something that you really need to go for.
But there are only 6 of them.
Right. The part of the show. Now, on the private island, in addition to the beaches, they also have a natural park or something.
Yeah, it's a nature trail.
Bring mosquito repellent.
That's the only place on the island where you will need mosquito repellent. And if I felt comfortable enough, I would show y'all my back. But literally on the left side of my back,
there's a whole lot of bites.
It's like 20 mosquito bites.
She paid the price for making her little walk. So anyway, that's something to consider on there.
Yeah.
But when you're out there, the beach is astounding. And that brings us to number 3.
Yeah, the beaches. The beaches in Aruba are beautiful. Clear turquoise water. But one of the things that really surprised me about Aruba is that there aren't really long stretches of beaches like you would think of the Florida coast or say the Mexico coast. They're like pockets of beach, and there are a lot of rocks, which makes for great snorkeling. But as far as there being just this singular long stretch of beach that's connected and you can walk down, it's not really the case, but it's beautiful nonetheless.
Right. So depending on wherever you're staying at on the island, just figure out where the nice beaches are and just make your way to them. They're all public. Nobody can own the rights to the beach. So you can go and set up shop, but you also might want to consider bringing an umbrella if you can't get to one of the palm tree thingies that they set up. Yeah, the little tent thing. Yeah, whatever.
Umbrella things.
Yeah. So if you don't have one of those, you need to account for it. So that takes us to
our next topic, number 4, which is excursion. So like we said, along the southern side of the island is typically where all of the more relaxing beaches are. On the northern part of the island, the beaches are extremely rocky and the water is very rough.
Very choppy.
Which is why all your excursions on that side, all the exciting stuff takes place on the northern side of the island, where you have your natural bridge, which has collapsed, your natural pool,
which is really hard to swim in. Do not be deceived.
The pictures make that thing look nice and smooth and just calm. Like, no, I didn't get in.
And the hike in? Oh my God.
Yeah, you have to hike down. Oh, and not even the hike.
The drive.
The drive in.
Yeah, you're not driving your daggone super. You're not driving a Toyota to that part of it.
You mean like a Corolla?
Right. You're not driving your 2-wheel drive to that part and think that you're going to make it down to the natural
exactly.
pool.
So
it's not going to happen.
The natural pool, everything on the northern part of the island is pretty much like an off-road trail, but it's more like a really rough dirt road. But the trek to the natural pool is the only portion where you have to have 4-wheel drive.
And there's a sign that lets you know such.
Yeah, and it's all dusty. So check out this picture right here. It lets you know how much dust is in that area.
But like she said, you could start. There are things that you could take a look at that tour buses go to, which is the natural bridge and the natural, the national park and church and the lighthouse.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of tour buses over there, but some of the more rocky areas is a lot. And if you're not used to 4-wheeling, this is one of those instances where you really want to assess what your tolerance levels are, because we saw some elderly. Well, not even elderly people, just a little more senior than us, that really complained about their body being hurt by how jarring the ride is.
Yeah, so we rented a Jeep and drove, because like I said, we're a little more adventurous, but there are tours that'll take you all along to all of these places. But we did meet a couple of older people that did the tours that were a little upset because they didn't realize that it was so rocky. Yeah. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Right. But you can do ATVs, you can rent mountain bikes, and you can hike out to some of these areas.
Yeah.
So bringing us to the final one, food.
I think a good segue into food from talking about excursions was the one food and the one thing, the food in the national park.
Yeah. Do you want to call them out?
Heck yeah. Because I think it's important when you do your excursions, bring some food, because you don't want to have to eat at this place.
Okay. So, all right. So
it went real bad, and we had to decline. Those are like minnows on this big. Right. How you feel about that?
Boy, look at here. I feel pumped. The fish sandwich was no bigger than my finger. That's God's honest.
Oh man, we had to decline.
When we did this excursion in the national park, there's only one restaurant. I don't remember the name of it, but that's why this one restaurant is why it's so important for you to take your own food with you. The prices at this place are insane. Insane. We had to politely decline.
Keisha.
They gave us these fish sandwiches. The bread was like this big, and the piece of fish
was less than a fish stick, y'all.
It was like
they cut it was like at first it was grouper.
That's what was on the menu.
But what we received was some little, them little tilapia slices?
A half a piece of tilapia.
We got a half a piece of tilapia on each sandwich, right? So understand, bring your own food.
Right, in the national park.
Right.
Be prepared to not eat at this one restaurant.
Because it's the only one in town. And we're not going to call it out by name, but you know who you are.
Oh, we're going to call it out by name. Check out this picture right here. Actually, we don't have to because it's the only restaurant in the national park.
Right.
You know who you are.
Right.
So, food in general, that was one bad experience. But overall,
there's something for everybody.
Exactly.
There's a lot of fast food restaurants, the typical things that you would see in America. There's also some exploration to be done with the original cultures associated with Aruba.
Yeah, like Dutch
in
culture.
Germany. Yeah. So there's some different things to check, but it's pretty much an American kind of palette with some highlights from other countries, which gives you a lot to explore. The food is very expensive.
Yeah, because you have to think about pretty much everything except for, things that are local, seafood has to be imported in. Aruba's a desert. They're not growing pineapple and papaya or, mango like on some of the tropical islands. Everything is imported in. So, prices do tend to be
Are reflected.
a little more.
Yeah, a lot more.
But I think the one important thing we realized about Aruba, as with anywhere else, is that you have to talk to the locals, do a bit of exploration, and try to venture out from the hotel and the touristy areas that exist around hotels.
And that way you can really get a great experience of what it is, or the culture of the people, the things that they do, the places that they eat. Z Rovers, make sure you go there.
Z Rovers, y'all.
It's a long line.
Yeah, you're going to wait anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, but it's well worth it.
Yeah.
They go out every morning, catch the food, catch the
fish or shrimp.
Yeah. Catch the seafood, and whatever they catch is what they have on the menu. We had mahi and shrimp. But then the fries, plantains.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of other
it's
stuff.
all good.
But the locals, they go there in droves, and they do not mind waiting 45 minutes to an hour to get some of this food. And we sat in that line and thoroughly enjoyed ourselves.
Exactly.
Talking with the people that live here and really enjoying the food that they also enjoy.
Flying Fishbone is another high recommend. It sits right on the water. You can sit with your feet in the water. They don't open until 5. So by the time...
You have to do reservations.
Yeah, you have to do reservations. By the time your meal comes, it's time for the sun to set. So you get to watch this beautiful sunset. And then when it gets dark, they turn on lights in the water that attract all the fish. So you're sitting in the ocean, which feels like your own personal aquarium.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
And then the final one that we would recommend,
Yamanji Wood Fire Grill.
Right in the downtown district. Woo! Woo!
It was art. It was pure art. Dakota and I are foodies, and the bartender Simon, he crafted me this drink.
So anyway, those are some really good.
Because I'm about to go off on a tangent, y'all. Because this place is amazing.
Lucy's to get your scorpion shot.
Get your scorpion shot.
And your t-shirt.
And a t-shirt to go with it. It's a shot of tequila with a baby scorpion in it. If you're planning to go to Aruba, we hope that the tips that we gave you helped. I guess the final question is, would we go back?
And the answer is yes. Not only yes, but hell yes.
Yes.
We got to come back because there were beaches that we didn't see that were like must-see items.
Exactly.
Baby Beach was one. There was another.
Rogers Beach,
which is close by it. So
I need to eat it.
The place you just Gianni's. Sonia has to go back to Yamanji.
Back to Yamanji Wood Fire Grill.
So there's much more for us to see and explore. And we want you to know that Aruba has something for everybody. Mm-hmm. So when you're planning your trip, make sure that you check out the video. Leave us a comment. Make sure you like. Is it the like? Make sure you like and subscribe so that we can continue.
Give a thumbs up.
To find different things that we can bring to you. And leave us a comment if you've gone to Aruba and there's some places that you think we should check out.
And one more thing. Thank you to our good friends, the Fords, for inspiring us to take this trip. Like we said, we needed to relax. We needed some good R&R. And this is their happy place. This is where they go to unwind and recharge. So visit Aruba so you can unwind and recharge too.
I caught that.